Streaming all across the country, from Washington State to South Beach and the Northeast to the deserts of Arizona, to dive into all things football. You're listening to the B&E Podcast. Here's your hosts, Ed Donaldson and Brandon Simpson.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Week 15 preview show of the B&E Podcast presented by Premium. Alongside Ed, I'm Brandon. By the time this weekend is over, we will have had 4 days, everyone, of NFL action. But you, my friend, you will have a long Sunday, regular football under the lights for your team?
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. So we'll see what happens. But, I don't know, man. Primetime game, Sunday night, divisional opponent, Giants, playoff implications. It sounds like a game for a typical Washington football. So we'll see what happens.
Got you.
Before we get started, this episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD and wellness company. Check out their full line of CBD-infused products, which make great stocking stuffers for the upcoming holiday season. Perfect for athletes, weekend warriors, soccer moms, and even armchair quarterbacks. They have CBD-infused honey, which is a personal favorite, as well as tinctures in mint and regular flavor. Most importantly, they are veteran and women-owned. So come get some of this sweet hemptation and taste the premium difference. Use code BNE for 15% off your order. Their website is www.prehemium.com. Again, that's www.prehemium.com. Now back to our show. Let's get started with the opening drive. Cardinals general manager Steve Keim is taking an indefinite leave of absence due to health issues. Hope everything is all right with him. Aqib Talib and his brother Yaqub Talib are being sued for over $1 million by the family of the youth football coach who was allegedly shot and killed by Yaqub Talib. It's a sad situation all around there. NFL had their winter meetings this week and discussed whether roughing the passer calls will be reviewable. I think that's a good idea, especially with the call last night. We'll get into that. And if players will be ejected for hits on a defensive player. So I think those are good things to review. I don't know about ejecting a player for a hit on a defensive player. That's kind of and open up a can of worms for me. What do you think about that?
I agree. That roughing the passer situation, I think, has got out of hand, in my opinion. That's old school football. Being a fan of a defensive team pretty much since we've been in the league, the Ravens, these roughing the passer calls are kind of like these quarterbacks are just getting whatever they want out there. I understand trying to protect them and everything, but some of these hits definitely are not. Players ejected for hits on the defenseless player, just kind of seems like a college football thing. I'm not a big college football fan, but I know it's like some situations where they can, you could probably attest to this more than I can, where they sit like the first quarter of the following game or something like that. If something like that to those terms happens. So I'm not a fan of that one, but definitely the first half of that. They need to get a hold of that in a sense, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't watch too much college either. So hopefully they don't, make that rule in place for NFL, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But let's get into this Thursday night game last night. 49ers beat the Seahawks 21-13 and clinched the NFC West. Now, this score was not as close as you would think. The game was pretty much in hand for the Niners throughout the contest. The Seahawks kind of made it a game at the end, but it wasn't enough. A lot of penalties, a lot of dumb mistakes by the Seahawks. I don't know, man. I think Tyler Lockett, he broke his finger in this game, so he might be out for the rest of the season, they're saying. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Seahawks finish below 500 now. They might honestly go 7-10 to start or the end of the regular season. So we'll get a high draft pick is looking, because the Broncos stink badly. So they'll probably get like a top 5 pick. So that's good news. But I think they're going to be kind of concerned, with Geno Smith or whoever the quarterback situation is going forward. Geno Smith is having a good season for his standards. It's kind of looking like they're kind of turning back to what everybody thought they would be. But we'll see. Did you see any of this game?
Yeah, I saw it pretty much till around middle of the third quarter. I kind of felt confident in turning it off. Like the previous Thursday night game, I believe it was Raiders and Rams, where the Rams came back in the final minutes. But a few things caught my eye in this one. They were kind of like tone setters in a sense. The San Fran, they had the ball 4th and 7 near midfield. This was just around the end of the first quarter. They lined up to try to draw Seattle offsides in their stadium, which is rare that it happens. But the guy on the left edge jumped off sides, and I remember the middle linebacker was like, "Oh no!"
I was looking
Like,
at him like, what the hell are you doing? I said that like five
yeah,
times. Like, what the hell are
yep,
you
same
doing?
here. Like they exactly. I mean, everybody in the stadium knew. Everybody at home knew that they was trying to draw them off sides, and it worked. But it
That'd
only
be my
amounted
bonehead
to
play
a
of the
fourth
week.
and two at that point. And San Fran, they elected to punt, but they got a legal formation penalty, so they kind of got the yardage back. Seattle did on the opposing drive. But the young safety for San Fran, I don't even want to pronounce his first name to get it wrong. I don't want to get it wrong. Hufanga, I believe his last name is. Kind of reminds me of Troy Polamalu. Dropped a potential interception for the Niners, which would have shut out the Seahawks in the first half. Again, that goes back to the whole scores. The score is closer than the game was because, yeah, they definitely handled them all game. And then the tone setter, in my opinion, was the Greenlaw's hit on Travis Homer. For Seattle, he fumbled. Tre'Davious Ward picked it up, scooped it, ran it down inside the 10, I was believed, to the 6-yard line, if I'm not mistaken, led to the McCaffrey touchdown. I know the guys in the pregame shows I was watching, NFL Network and Prime Video, was talking about George Kittle kind of needed to be the one to step up, and he really did. 4 receptions, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns, to again make up for Deebo Samuel. Big loss there for them. But yeah, congratulations to the first team of the season to clinch their division, the Niners. I think a lot of people weren't too sure that after the week 2 situation with Trey Lance going down, and then a couple weeks ago with Jimmy G going down. But they got it done. They're in the dance. They won the division. They're pretty much going to be a top 4 team in the NFC, no matter what. So congratulations to the Niners from
Yeah.
here on.
Yeah, congrats. Speaking of McCaffrey, I'm in a fantasy football playoffs and freaking playing against McCaffrey. So I was not happy seeing him get over 100 yards, a touchdown, and however many receptions and receiving yards he has. I was really upset with the Seahawks about that. I knew he was going to run wild against them because the Seahawks lately, they've been getting gashed on the ground.
True.
So I wasn't surprised, but I was just hoping, don't let them score at least. But I think they scored on that after that fumble, after Greenlaw knocked Homer out with a hit stick and fumbled the ball. So yeah. All right. Now we got to talk about this game, I guess. Giants at the Commanders. The first game was a tie. The second game, I don't know. It's going to be at FedEx Field. So Sunday night game, playoff implications. I don't have too much confidence in my team right now. I know they've been playing well with Heineke in, but I just have a bad feeling about this game for some reason. I don't know why. I haven't heard if Chase Young is coming back or not. Honestly, I think they should just let him. I think they should sit him until next season.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I agree.
The D line has been playing bad. I don't want to say he'll, disrupt the chemistry, but if he's still, if he wasn't ready by the time they put him off the pup list, where we got like 4 games left, 3 games after this, I would just sit him, man. Just, get that full season out the way, then come back ready for training camp, hopefully. But as far as this game goes, we know Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson were both on the injury report this week. So I'm thinking they'll be a little banged up going into this game. I don't know if the run will be as effective. I'm still not sold on Taylor Heineke. I know he's like 5-1-1, but most of these games he was just being a game manager and he didn't have to like go out there and win a game. I feel like this game he's going to have to throw the ball for like 250 yards. So I don't know if he can do that. He has the weapons to do it. Scary Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson, even the running backs out the backfield, J.D. McKissick, Antonio Gibson, even Brian Robinson a little bit. He's got the weapons, but I just don't know if he can get it done. But, Daniel Jones and Taylor Heineke is kind of like a toss-up. So I don't know. I think the Commanders are going to win, but I'm just not confident in the pick. Let me check to see who is the favorite for this game. Oh
I believe
wow,
y'all are.
Washington are a four
Yeah.
4.5 point favorite.
Yep.
Okay, I guess Vegas has more confidence in them than I do. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, let's see if the NFL got it right on this one. They flexed it in a couple weeks ago, right after the tie there up at MetLife. That game was pretty good, in my opinion. The Commanders, they have a chance to pretty much put the nail in the coffin of the Giants for this year. I expect around the same type of game in a sense. I think Daniel Jones will hurt the defense again with his legs, but the Giants, they need to get Saquon going to stand a chance in this one. He didn't have his best game last week. But as for Washington, they're coming off the bye. Pick up where you left off. You target Scary Terry early and often. Again, Brian Robinson, as you mentioned, recipe for success, in my opinion. Both offensive lines need to play better, though. They combined for 9 sacks in the last game 2 weeks ago. I think the crowd will be a factor in this one. I know you've talked
I'm
about it
about to
before.
say,
Y'all don't too much come out, but I think y'all's fans kind of support y'all more than Giants fans at home. I mean, Giants fans just kind of got back into it this year because they've been playing decent. But I think that if you go crowd versus their game up there a couple weeks ago versus y'all's, I think y'all got a little bit more advantage in those terms right there. But yeah, the Giants are on a little bit of a slide. I think they lost 3 of the last 4, if not 4 of the last 5. I can't remember exactly. And then you factor in the tie as well, because it's funny. I was just looking on the standings on ESPN or whatever, and it said they've only lost 1 game because they do the streaks, either win 4 games in a row, lose 1, whatever, and it's like lost 1, but technically they've lost, in my opinion, 4 or 5 straight because the tie don't count as a win. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Commanders in this one. I think it'll be close again. Um, Obviously, I like the Giants to win, but I don't think they'll have enough down there at FedEx Field to take this one.
and speaking of the offensive line, I think we got some injuries on the offensive line. I know the center, I want to say his name's Larson. I don't think he'll be playing. I think he might be off the rest of the season. We lost somebody else. Cosme, he got hurt last game as well. So I can't remember if he will be able to play or not. But that offensive line is going to be a little banged up going into this game as well.
Never good. Yeah, never good. All right, turning the page, everyone. The Bengals will take their AFC best 5-game win streak into Tampa on Sunday afternoon for a matchup with the Bucks. It's a 4:25 p.m. Eastern time start there, and this is the first ever matchup between Brady and Burrow. Break down this contest for us.
Vegas has got the Bengals as a 3.5 point favorite. I think the game won't be that close. I don't know what's going on. I do know what's going on with the Bucks. They banged up. There's not a lot of chemistry going on all right there. I think Joe Burrow and the Bengals are kind of like hitting that stride as far as the team playing with chemistry and everything. So I think the Bengals should take care of this matchup pretty easy. But with Brady, you never know, man. Who knows if Burrow will be starstruck seeing Tom Brady? I doubt it, but who knows? But the Bucks defense is banged up. Vita Vea went out last game. They lost on what's my man's name? Shaq Barrett, I think his name is.
Correct.
He tore his Achilles a couple games ago. That was a big blow for them. So I just don't know. But the Bengals are dealing with some injuries as well. I know T. Higgins is I think he's dealing with a hamstring injury, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So he's kind of banged up. But I think, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, Hayden Hurst. I don't know if he'll be able to play. He didn't play last game, but he's out.
Yeah, I just looked at it.
Okay, yeah, he had a calf injury last game or the game before, and he didn't return for that game. He missed the last game, I think. So, but I think the Bengals should be able to take care of business in this one. So I'm gonna go with the Bengals, but hopefully Tom Brady can make it a game at least. But I think the Bengals should take care of this one pretty easily, in my opinion. What about you?
I agree on that. I'm on the same side with you there. It's always hard to go against Tom Brady, but not much is working for them right now. Another dismal offensive performance last week doesn't give me much confidence in picking them this week. Plus, you factor in Joe Burrow and company still lighting it up with his targets on and off the field. Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, as you mentioned, they're questionable. Looking at the injury report right now. Again, Hayden Hurst is out. I don't feel like that'll matter much because they always seem to find at least 100-yard receiver, and that'll probably be Chase for sure. So yeah, the Bengals, they beat down the Browns last week. I picked the Browns, shot me in the foot. But if Tampa can get off to if they can't get off to a fast start, which they haven't managed to do in really any of their games this year, probably be the same outcome in this one. But I mean, the good thing for Tampa is that the NFC South is just, as we've talked about all year, it's terrible. So they might still mess around and win this division with another loss on their record. So yeah, give me the Bengals in this one. I'm not gonna take my chance on Tampa in this one.
Yeah, the Bucs can't run the ball, and they're having a little issues with pass protection as well. So it might be a long day for Brady out there, but we'll see. Maybe he'll turn back into vintage Brady. We'll see though.
Yep. All right, this might just be my game of the week. Cowboys, Jaguars down in Duval. How do you feel about your rivals? How do you feel they'll fare in this one?
It could be a trap game. But I don't know. The Jaguars are up and down. Trevor Lawrence, one day he looks like the future, then the next day he doesn't look like the future. He looks like a bust. So I don't know. Evan Ingram had a great game last week, like a career type of day. So maybe they realized we need to give the ball to him some more. But Cowboys, man. This is a tough one for me, honestly. I think the Cowboys are favored by like 4 points, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're a 4-point favorite according to Vegas, but they're playing in Jacksonville. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. I think they're the better team overall. Michael Parsons has been a little quiet lately. I think he might have a game where he impacts the game a lot. Maybe get a couple of sacks or a forced fumble or something like that. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys, but I think Trevor Lawrence will have a good game. Like we talked about last week, the Cowboys lost their cornerback, Anthony Brown. I think that's gonna have a big impact on the secondary and the defense overall. Because what's his name? Chris Moore from Houston went off against them last week. I think guys like Christian Kirk or Zay Jones, even Evan Ingram, they might have another big game. So see, but I think the Cowboys should come out and win this. That they still got that 1-2 punch, Zeke and Tony Pollard. If they can run the ball, don't have to depend on Dak like that, I think they'll be fine. What about you?
Yeah, there's a couple big storylines in this one. I'm watching Jaguars coach Doug Peterson. He'll be facing the Cowboys for the first time since he left Philadelphia. Will Dak Prescott cut down on the interceptions? He's had multiple two-plus interception games this year. And then T.Y. Hilton, he's now with the Cowboys. Whether or not he plays, we'll see. But he'll have some insight on this Jags team after playing them for about 10 years plus there in Indianapolis. But yeah, the Cowboys fans, they're still screaming to run Tony Pollard, as you mentioned. You still got Zeke in the background. I think they're going to need it to keep the Jaguars offense off the field. I can attest for that. We had the struggles against them a couple weeks ago. But again, can Dak limit the mistakes against a young, stingy defense there down in Jacksonville? But on the other side of the field, Jaguars looked really good last week against their AFC South leading rival Titans. I didn't expect them to pull that one off. As you mentioned, Evan Ingram had a career game. He might not need to have another big one like this to beat the Cowboys. I mean, they still got Hasty, the running back Travis Etienne, Christian Kirk, and Zay Jones out there. Those guys can all ball. So, yeah, I really think the Jaguars stand a chance in this one. I know it might seem crazy. I'm looking at ESPN is predicting 75% chance that Dallas is going to win this one. I'm going to go with the 24% chance that they got and pick the upset at home. I got Jacksonville down there, shocking some people. Let's put it that way.
I love it. I would love it if the Jaguars win. That'd be
same
great.
Here. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So I got Dak Prescott and Trevor Lawrence, both as my quarterbacks in fantasy. Which one do you think I should start? I'm leaning towards Dak right now, but Trevor Lawrence had that great game last week, so it's kind of up in the air. But I'm leaning toward Dak Prescott. Who do you think I should start?
I'm going towards Trevor. I mean, Dak has had, again, multiple interception games this year, and it's just like, and I know a couple of them interceptions are not on him as always, but I mean, they narrowly escaped Houston last week, a team that's not, Jacksonville is definitely better than Houston, and they've had some bigger wins than them. So I think Trevor Lawrence will get it done. I know he's going to be under duress with that Cowboys pass rush and everything, but yeah, I'd go with Trevor Lawrence at this rate myself.
Yeah, I hear you. I'll figure it out.
All right, everyone, you're watching the B&E podcast presented by Premium. This next game is like what I said about the Commanders and Giants a few weeks ago. Nobody thought this would be relevant at this point in the season. The Lions, they'll travel to MetLife to take on the Jets. Playoff implications are on the line in this one. Yeah, I think this will be another good game of the weekend. High-scoring Lions offense versus a very good Jets defense. Then on the other side, I was shocked today when I heard this. The Jets are having to start Zach Wilson because of injuries. I don't know what's going on with Flacco. Is he banged up? Or they just choosing to go back to Zach in this one?
I think they just choosing to go back.
That's wild. I don't know.
Zach.
Yeah. I wonder how the wideouts and the fans will receive Zach Wilson, because, you know, it obviously didn't end well a couple weeks ago, his time as a starter. But yeah, I'm looking at for the other Wilson, Garrett Wilson, the wideout, to have another standout game against not necessarily not going up against him, but the rookie counterpart. This guy got drafted with him earlier in the year. Jameson Williams had his first career catch and as a touchdown last week for the Lions. I don't know if it's a bold statement or not. Well, this is before I knew that Zach Wilson was going to start, but I had Jared Goff outplaying Joe Flacco, but of course that's going to change now because Zach Wilson's getting the start. So I think he'll definitely outplay Zach Wilson in this one. So yeah, despite the Jets losing 2 straight and sitting at the bottom of the AFC East, I think they still got a shot. The Lions have won 2 in a row heading into Sunday. I got the Lions winning their 3rd road game of 2022. What about you?
Yeah, it's a toss-up for me. I don't know. We got to see what Zach Wilson does out there, but that Jets defense is still pretty good. So I think they'll cause some issues with the Lions. Jared Goff might look like his old self out there, but they got Jameson Williams back last week, and that Lions offense is pretty explosive, like you said. But I really like the Jets defense in spite of Zach Wilson. If he can just, throw the damn ball when he has a chance. Not just to Garrett Wilson, but other people in the team. They can run the ball. I'll give them a good chance of beating the Lions. But so I'm gonna pick the Jets in this one, but I won't be surprised if the Lions beat them. But I think that Jets defense is gonna force some turnovers and make some plays to give the Jets the ball more, so they have more opportunities to score. Hopefully they don't have to depend on Zach Wilson to win a game, but he could come out there more fired up and motivated and play good, but we'll see.
True.
But it is a weird season for this guy because I really think Mike White won command of that team when he came in. They started wearing T-shirts with Mike White on it. So I think the team, defense, offense, special teams, even the damn coaches like Mike White more, but he got hurt a lot in that last game against the Bills. So unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, but they had to go back to Zach Wilson. So we'll see. So I'm gonna pick the Jets in this one, in this AFC against NFC matchup. No, strictly AFC East matchup. We got the Dolphins traveling up to Buffalo against the Bills. It's probably going to be cold and snowy up there.
Yep.
Dolphins are a Miami team. They've been fortunate to have really good weather when they play home. I think this is going to be their first game where they got to face some adverse conditions as far as weather. It's probably going to be snowy out there, so we'll see how Tua feels with that. Everybody knows he doesn't have the strongest arm, so I wonder if that weather is going to affect him throwing a ball or not. I'm going to pick the Bills in this one. I think they're just on a roll right now, and they probably want some get back from that game they lost against the Dolphins early in the season too. So I think Josh Allen and the company will do just enough to beat the Dolphins. I do think Tua will get back on track though, because he had a terrible game last week against the Chargers. He went 3-15 in the first half.
Yeah.
I think he'll improve on those numbers though. What about you? How you feeling about this game?
Yeah, they said the Dolphins had heaters on the sidelines last week at SoFi with temperatures in the 50s there in Southern California. In case anyone didn't know at home, the roof was closed, but there's an opening on the side of the stadium, which made it a lot cooler. They're in for a long night there in Buffalo. We all know about the East Coast weather, and Buffalo is almost like a different breed. It's like Green Bay almost. I saw a stat line where I believe it was 2 is 0-3 in cold weather games, and I don't think he fared well either at Alabama during his time in college play. Not to mention they've lost 2 straight games. They've been on the road the last 2 weeks as well, but now they face a red hot Buffalo team. Buffalo, they have every reason to win this game. They're 5-1 at home. They struggled against their rivals in the AFC East, though, which is surprising, but the AFC East has improved. Of course, including that tough loss against Miami in week 3. Ken Dorsey, maintain yourself, my friend. Okay, don't be throwing around your headsets and the playbooks and stuff, okay, at the end of the game or anytime. You know what I'm saying? The eye's going to be on you. But yeah, I'm going with Buffalo in this one. Always a tough place to play, and now you factor in the weather. I don't know if the Dolphins can adjust to the cold weather, or at least going to have to be one of those situations where I see it to believe it for sure. I definitely think it's going to be a long night for the Dolphins up there in New York.
Yeah, Vegas might think it's a longer night too. They got Buffalo favored by a touchdown, even 7 points. So yeah, we'll definitely see. But I guess a good thing for the Dolphins, though, they're still in pretty good position. So even if they do lose this game, they'll still have a shot of making the playoffs, especially since they already got a win over the Bills as well. But yeah, I think that'll be a good game. All right, so another AFC matchup. We got the Titans at the Chargers. I'm picking the Chargers in this one. I think the Titans are on a downslide right now. And I like Justin Herbert way more than I like Ryan Tannehill. So I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one. Let me see how much they're favored by, because I'm pretty sure they got to be the favorites in this game. They got to be. Let me see. Oh, wow. They're only a 3-point favorite. So, I mean, Titans are a bad team. So that doesn't, that's not like too surprising. I thought it'd be a little higher. But I like the Chargers in this one. Keelan Allen and Mike Williams are starting to get back in their groove. I think Austin Eckler will have a good game as well. Hopefully Derrick Henry can run the ball, but we saw last game he had over 100 yards in the first half, and they still got the doors blown off of him. Still got the hell beat out of him. So who knows? Tannehill, I think he might have a long night dealing with what's my boy named Khalil Mack and crew. Yep. Even the guy who came over from the Patriots,
Van Noy.
Yeah, he had a sack last game. So he might start picking up as the season goes along too. So I like the Chargers in this one. How about you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. The Titans, they've dropped 3 straight. They were embarrassed by the Jags last week, as you mentioned, at home. But on the other side, you got to be living under a rock if you don't know how inconsistent the Chargers are. But 3 games I'll be watching in this game. Of course, Derrick Henry, as you mentioned, great game last weekend, but the defense really failed him. Austin Eckler, they need to feed this man the ball more. And Justin Herbert probably was my favorite quarterback coming out of that draft in 2020, but it's been up and down with him, not only all season, but his entire career. I'm still a bit undecided in this one, but I think more pressures on the Titans to win, factor in the losing streak with the firing of the GM. They can't fall further in this slump that they've been in my opinion. I trust Vrabel more than Brandon Staley in this one, but as always, I'll be watching Los Angeles on 4th down situations to see if he goes for it. I like to call him Mr. 4th down. So yeah, definitely should be a good one. I think last I checked, ESPN gave the Chargers a 65% chance of winning in this one. I'm still a little bit undecided because again, the Chargers are just so inconsistent. It's like every time I pick them, they lose. But the Titans are on a slide. I'm a bit undecided. So yeah, I'll get back at you on this one.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm looking at the Chargers' last few games. They beat Arizona, then they lost to Vegas, and then they beat Miami. So
yeah,
take that for how you want to take it. But I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I think Herbert's a better quarterback than Tannehill at this point. So if the game comes down to it, I think Herbert will make a little bit more plays than Tannehill. But we'll see what happens.
For sure. All right, plenty of other games on the schedule for week 15. Yeah, week 15, everyone. We've got Saints and Falcons, the Browns and Ravens, Vikings at Colts, Panthers at Steelers, Texans at Chiefs, Raiders. Patriots will go to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Broncos and Cardinals, Packers and Rams on Sunday night, and Bears and Eagles as well. Which of these games will you be keeping an eye on?
I'm gonna check out your game, Browns at the Ravens. I just want to see how Deshaun looks in his third game back. I'll be keeping a close eye on the Vikings Colts game, the Bears Eagles game. Let's see, there's another one I was looking at. The Panthers Steelers game. I'll be taking a eye at that. And Raiders and Patriots. Those are the games I'm looking at. I'm keeping the closest eye on the Browns Raven game. I just want to see how Deshaun Watson looks. And this will be another game. Lamar Jackson is out as well, the PCL strain. So who's going to be quarterback? Is Huntley playing?
They say Huntley's, last I saw this morning or mid-afternoon, Huntley's supposed to start. So we'll see.
Okay. Oh, I'm tripping. I'm going to look at the Texans-Chiefs game as well because the guy I'm playing against, he has Travis Kelce as well. So I just want to see how bad Travis Kelce is going to kill me. Hopefully the Texans take him away and let everybody else go. But I think Travis Kelce is going to kill me. So we'll see. What about you? What games do you be keeping an eye on?
Yeah, Texans can't stop the run. So we'll see if Kansas City will actually run the ball in that one.
That'd be sure. Great. Just run it. Don't throw
it. But yeah, I'm looking at the Saints and Falcons. They're in the NFC South. I know the Saints aren't hitting on much, but the Falcons still got a shot at the NFC South. Raiders and Patriots. I know that pretty much every time one of Belichick's assistants leaves him and they have to play him, they get blown the hell out. But I think the Raiders stand a chance here in this one. Patriots are never a flashy team since Brady has been gone, and the Raiders have been up and down. So I think that they can they definitely stand a better shot at this one than I think a lot of people are giving them. And Packers and Rams, will the Packers come off their bye week and take care of the Rams there at home, or will Bake come there to Lambeau Field, where he lost last year? I believe it was on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, something like that. It was a Saturday game. And with the Browns, of course, at that time. And they played a close game, and Baker played decent in that one. So we'll see how he does in this one for sure. So yeah, those are some games I'll definitely be watching. But yeah, I think that Texans-Chiefs game is probably my lock of the week. Again, the Texans have been playing good, but the Chiefs are the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And it's down there in
Houston. Speaking of Saturday games, there's going to be 3 of them. We got the Colts and the Vikings, your Ravens and the Browns, and the Dolphins and the Bills. Those are all be tomorrow, Saturday.
Correct.
Colts and the Vikings play first, then the Ravens and the Browns, and then Dolphins and the Bills play at night. So dang, it's gonna probably be even colder at night.
Yeah,
it might be they might be in for a long night. We'll see.
For sure. Yeah, I think back to that playoff game we had up there a couple of years ago. It was just so windy. I mean, we didn't have to deal with the snow, but it just like, even when Justin Tucker is missing field goals, you know something's up. It was definitely windy and cold out there for that one. So yeah, I definitely and we're pretty much a cold weather team. So we'll see if the Dolphins really shock the world and show up. I mean, I think what makes a lot of people less confident in them now is that they've lost 2 straight as well. So this will be a tough slide to come out of 3 road games 0-3. You definitely at least want to end up over 500 in a long road streak like that, because it's usually not more than 3 games when you have that type of stretches. So pressure is on them for sure. They don't want to drop another one.
Right.
All right, everyone. That'll do it for this episode of the B&E podcast presented by Premium. Keep your TV on all weekend. As we mentioned, we got NFL action on both days, Saturday and Sunday. Then we'll be back on Monday to break it all down for you. Then for Ed, I'm Brandon. Make it a great football weekend, everyone.